So far, our journey to unearth the longevity capitals of the world has taken us to 3 countries across 3 continents. In today's video, we continue this refreshing adventure by visiting 2 additional longevity hotspots in Europe and the Americas. Ikaria, the Greek island where people forget to die. Finding a blue zone in Greece feels natural. I mean, it would have been strange not to find one in such an ancient country with a rich history in science, art, democracy, sport, and even medicine. However, not too many people would have expected Ikaria to be a natural hub for centenarians. For starters, this tiny rocky island situated in the Aegean Sea is one of the most remote regions in Greece. And after World War II, it was one of the poorest areas in the country. Yet today, the population on this ancient island have a life expectancy of 90 years and live 10 years longer than their counterparts in Europe and the United States. 1 in every 3 people on this island live long enough to celebrate their 90th birthday. In addition to this, they enjoy an incredible level of good health that most people in other climes cannot relate with. The people here have an impeccable health record with lower chances of suffering from cancer and heart diseases, depression, and dementia. Living in Ikaria seems like a sure ticket to good health and longevity. And it's definitely not a coincidence. You see, the position of Ikaria as a longevity hotspot has been attributed to a number of factors. Some people say the longevity experienced here is down to the island's culture, diet, and lifestyle, but 2 key factors that most people tend to ignore are history and geography. Due to its lack of natural ports, this tiny island was literally cut off from the rest of the world in the ancient times. This meant its inhabitants were forced to completely live off whatever they could produce. And in doing so, they were able to build a self-sufficient and healthy population. As you would expect, plants feature as one of the main protagonists of their self-sufficient story. Traditional Ikarians discovered several plants for different purposes, including for herbs, spices, food, and even tea. And over the years, these things have been passed from one generation to another, such that the consumption of local herbal teas have become a daily cultural practice in Ikaria. Some of the famous local tea options include sage tea, rosemary tea, and common mallow tea. To be fair, daily intake of tea is also a common ritual in other parts of the world. 3 out of 4 Americans drink coffee every day, and about 2 billion cups of coffee are consumed daily worldwide. But apparently, we don't drink tea the right way. While most coffee and tea drinkers across the world use sugar, the people in Ikaria opt for honey. Honey, as we know it, is a natural sweetener with several health benefits and is often used as an anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and antibacterial agent. The honey used by Ikarians is even much better than most of the honey you'll find at grocery stores. Evidence has shown that some people boil honey before selling them, thereby destroying the pollen grains and ultimately converting it from a healthy sweetener into sugar. But the Ikarians don't do this because they prefer to take their honey raw, and even when they use it as sweetener, they wait for the tea or coffee to cool to a point where it's drinkable. This way, they're able to milk just about all the nutrients and bioactive compounds contained in the honey. So, next time you prepare your tea or coffee, make sure to ditch sugar for raw honey. Also, try as much as possible to integrate elements from the traditional Mediterranean food into your diet. This includes cereals, fruits, vegetables, nuts, whole grains, and fish. As shocking as it may sound, it has also been discovered that wine is one of the factors that contributes to the longevity of the Ikarians. The rest of us tend to condemn wine, especially those of alcoholic descent. But somehow the people in Ikaria have found the good in wine. Traditional Ikarian have been producing healthy wine for centuries. They collect the grapes manually and use the same ancient winemaking and storage methods. For the record, some of these methods go as far back as the BC era. Yet, they're still as efficient as ever. The wine obtained from this process is completely natural and doesn't contain any chemical additives. This wine contains things like potassium, phosphorus, boron, iron, and many other minerals. It's almost like drinking a health supplement. Another surprising tradition in Ikaria that contributes to the longevity of its people is partying. For most people, parties are the perfect excuse to get drunk and disturb the neighbor with loud music. However, it's quite different in Ikaria. The people here see parties as an opportunity to bond with friends and family, while listening to soft music, drinking wine, and eating traditional Mediterranean food. Additionally, they use it as an opportunity to get a good laugh and exercise their body in the form of dancing. This might not seem like a lot, but it yields just about the same result as the regular form of exercise. And more importantly, it goes to show that we can have as much fun as we want while living healthy, and physical activity doesn't have to be painful as most of us have been led to believe. In Ikaria, healthy, committed partnership is another strong factor that fuels their longevity. You could argue that it's the same for all blue zones, but the people of Ikaria seem to have taken it one step further. As shown by Panagiotis Kouloulias and Aleka Mazari, there is no limit to finding love on this island. Panagiotis had lost his first wife at the age of 73, but remarkably, he was able to find love again in Aleka. Now, he's a few years away from becoming a centenarian, but he's living his best life alongside his new partner, who is in her late 80s. This explains why people in the blue zones prioritize their relationship and do everything in their power to sustain it. Before we reveal the next blue zone, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our Health Rules channel to enjoy more healthy content like this one. Nicoya, Costa Rica. Our next longevity hotspot is a place called Nicoya, a remote region in northern Costa Rica with a proportion of centenarians that is 3.5 times the global average. And the people here don't just live long, they live healthy without any underlying sickness or disability. In most parts of the world, like the United States for instance, life expectancy is usually tied to the amount of wealth a person has. In other words, the more money you have, the more you're likely to live long. But it would appear that the reverse is the case in Nicoya. The income of a person in Costa Rica, for instance, is about 1/6 that of an average American, yet Costa Ricans have a higher life expectancy rate than Americans. As a matter of fact, Nicoya is one of the poorest regions in Costa Rica, yet the people here are among the longest living population in the world. Beyond living long, people in Nicoya tend to be very active, even into their old age. Ramiro Guadamuz is a perfect example of this myth. Even at the age of 100, this super agile cowboy is all over the place, riding horses and lassoing cows. And just in case you're wondering, this seemingly superpower ability is not peculiar to men alone. There are people like Panchita, a 105-year-old woman that splits wood and handles the machete like a lady in her youth. David Rieckhoff, a scientist from Stanford University, discovered that the average biological age of Nicoyans is about 10 years younger than their chronological age. This is down to a number of factors. In Costa Rica in general, most people tend to have a clear sense of purpose. Locals call it plan de vida, which translates to soul's purpose. Like the Okinawans, this gives them a reason to live and keeps them motivated during their difficult times. Due to their low income, Nicoyans don't enjoy much mechanical convenience. So they literally have to do everything themselves traditionally. While doing all of this work, they're unconsciously engaging in physical activities, which serve as a form of exercise. And it's not as if the rest of us don't work. Americans work between 40 to 50 hours every week. But they don't do it the right way. While most of us work for a long stretch without any breaks, Nicoyans take breaks at intervals. For the average Nicoyan, leisure time is just as important as their work, and they treat it as such. For instance, it's difficult to find a person on this island who would rather clock in some extra hours at work when there's an opportunity to wind down and enjoy some quality time with family and friends. And that's yet another area where the rest of us need to work on if we want to live as long as the people of Nicoya. Moving on, the ingenious healthcare policy of Costa Rica is also one of the reasons why people tend to live longer in Nicoya than other places in the world. Costa Rica's health budget for 2023 was $6.15 billion. In comparison, the United States Department of Health and Human Services budgeted $2.84 trillion for its operation over the same period. But despite this huge gap in spending, Costa Ricans have a higher life expectancy and lower mortality rate than the United States. The most obvious reason for this is that while the overall health policy in the U.S. is designed to provide the best medical help to sick people, the health policy in Costa Rica is designed to prevent citizens from falling sick. So, why the rest of us are focused on treatment, Costa Ricans have been heavy on prevention and they've had some very impressive results from it. They start from the basics by reinforcing water and operating strong nutrition programs that ensure that children get all the necessary vitamins and minerals that they need during the first 2 years of their life. Additionally, they build small and easily accessible clinics across the country. More importantly, they go over and beyond to deliver healthcare to the doorsteps of every citizen. Starting from the mid-90s, Costa Rica has had a special health program, which sees a health ambassador visit every home to assess the health of citizens. Over the years, this has become a culture, ultimately helping to save lives and improve the longevity of Costa Ricans. It's amazing to see just how effective and efficient this model is, especially compared to the more expensive healthcare policies of countries like the United States and the United Kingdom. And it definitely wouldn't be out of place for other countries to adopt it. Perhaps another thing worth adopting from the people of Costa Rica and Nicoya, to be specific, is a special diet called the Mesoamerica trifecta. For over 6,000 years, locals on this island have eaten this diet made from black beans, squash, and corn, and you can just tell it's one of the things that fuels their longevity. The kernels of the corn, as you know, is an excellent source of carbohydrate, fiber, and other minerals and vitamins. Black beans are also rich in fiber and possess the same pigment-based antioxidants found in blueberries, while squash is an excellent source of potassium, magnesium, as well as vitamins A, B, and C. The combination of these 3 elements in one food provide all the 9 amino acids our body needs to build muscles. Animal products like meats, fish, and eggs provide these amino acids, but they also contain cholesterol and saturated fat, which can be dangerous to our health if they become excess in our body. However, the Mesoamerica trifecta supplies these acids without the extra baggage of cholesterol and saturated fat, and it's available for only a fraction of what the rest of us spend on animal products. Unfortunately, the culture of eating foods like the Mesoamerica trifecta and living a healthy lifestyle is slowly dying in Nicoya, especially among the emerging generations. Fast food restaurants are popping up all over the place, offering residents of the island quick and unhealthy alternatives to healthy diets. As a result, this blue zone is slowly turning into a red zone, and the impressive life expectancy rate of its inhabitants is fast eroding. Since Nicoya was discovered as a longevity hotspot, the blue zone area of the island has reduced to 1/5 of its original size. And if things continue in this direction, the blue zone could be completely wiped off within a generation. The situation isn't any different in Okinawa. The Japanese island, which was once home to the world's longest-lived population, has become a shadow of itself. Today, Okinawa Island has the highest rate of obesity in Japan. It's sad that modernization is destroying these longevity hotspots. But the good thing is, we've been able to study and understand the secrets of these blue zones, and we can use it to create new blue zones across the world. Do you think that is possible? Let's know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and don't forget to subscribe to our Health Rules channel.